Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Hand. And with this episode, well, first, hi, hello, how are you? If you're brand new, I talk about politics, business development, because I'm working on finally publishing my first novel, as well as more children's books. Check me out, or even at the end, I have some of my books. Two of them aren't published yet. Let's just say, hmm, trying to, again, the novel, the children's books, activity books, greeting card company, and a couple other entities. All, yeah, I'm doing majority of the work. I have an illustrator because I can't draw. And then I talk about nerd things, but I also have another channel called the Handicapable Black Nerd and other things. So yeah, if you're new, I try to mix it up, but yeah, it's like there's been so many dating nightmares that I am so behind. I can literally create over probably 300 episodes because of all of the screenshots. And this is a dating nightmare episode. I'm going to focus on my profile because, especially after the voting, it proves why I have the standards that I have. And it's this, yeah, like I said, it's going to be a series because if you guys have been listening, if you haven't, if you're new, go back, and if you see a dating nightmare episode, try to watch a few of those. Try even watching my first episode where I show a guy who I'm probably gonna redo the episode, and I'm gonna show his face. I think excuse me, blurred it, like, because I was just like, okay, I don't want people to know who it is. But no, I was like, no, this man told me to eliminate myself from this earth. And then I posted it online, and then people said it was an 18 and up episode. So then I got like no views, but it proved how men treat us, especially black women. And I'll say women, but especially black women. Like, a lot of other women don't realize what we go through and how we are treated. Because even the one, I'm not going to go in order because, yeah, whatever. My episodes are as messy as my life. When I say must have a degree, trade, or certification, do you know how many men tell me, I know you don't have a degree. I know you don't have higher education. And then, well, even with my whole list, I know you don't have any of this. I know you don't pass your list. When I made this list, I based it off of what I have and what I've learned most men don't like about me. So if I can find a guy who also has what I have, then I think that we would at least be an understanding and get along a lot better. Because, especially the degree, a lot of these men hate that I have 3 degrees and 2 minors and 3 certifications. They hate that. Most of them still don't know about all of it. But, like, when they see masters in my profile, a lot of men, especially black men, they think I'm joking. Or they say, "Oh, are you a master's in the streets? Yo, you a player? Oh, I bet." It's like, "Yeah, you're a master's in the streets." And I'm like, no. Actually, my first master's is in teaching and training with technology. And then I have my MBA in internet marketing. Oh, you a square. Oh, nah. It's like, I can't, nah. I don't want a smart woman. What man wants a smart woman? Oh, I don't want anything to do with that. Oh, so that means I ain't gonna get no kitty? Oh, it's gonna be harder to get that kitty? Nah. And I used to ask, what do you mean it's gonna get harder? There was like, oh, I need the dumb girl. I need the girl that's dependent on me. I need the girl that's impressed if I buy the mistake. It's like, you got a master's. That means I have to talk. I actually have to communicate, which is also why I have must be able to have deep conversation and always willing to learn and be adventurous. Because when I tell men that I want to start my businesses and I want to learn more about either the environment and like with nonprofit and like watch documentaries, especially like outer space and things like that. I'm a square. I'm a loser. I'm a nerd. I'm boring. And if you listen to some of my episodes, you've seen screenshots, especially by the guy who calls himself BWC420. Yeah, he was like, it's not that you are boring. And he literally tells me, he's one of the guys who tells me to off myself. Yeah, quite a few men have told me to eliminate myself. And part of me wonders, do they hate that I have accomplished everything that their parents wish that they had accomplished? I like, and it's like I don't even have high self esteem. A lot of people are gonna think I must be stuck up and things like that. No, I know what I've worked for, and I'm not going to allow. Yeah, I'm still kind of like, I don't know, after the election and after some of the messages I've gotten from some of these disgusting men and everything like that. I'm still trying to get myself out of a funk or whatever. So if I mess up my words, that's just me for a little bit. Okay, okay, keep going. But it's just, huh. I can't believe how many men have told me to eliminate myself because of my education, because of my business ventures, because of my ideas. And a lot of men say I'm crazy because I'm not going to just marry them because of how many inches they are. Oh, and I mean height and in the pants. And it's crazy. Do you realize how many men said I'm stupid because I'm not going to go out with them just because they're 6'1" or 6 feet, 6'1", 6'5", or whatever? It's like I remember years ago, one of my friends was having one of their big birthday parties, whatever. It was in Detroit and stuff, and it's like I went as a supporting friend, but then I realized they weren't really a friend. Yeah, I'll tell that story a different day, but literally I busted my butt off and I went there to support them, and I got there by one of their friends who was like, "Oh no, let's carpool, whatever, don't worry." And then at the end of the night, because they promised me they were going to take me home, yeah, next thing you know, they weren't going to take me home. And let's just say that was a nightmare. But at this birthday party, there was a group of guys who were not invited. They were part of something else. He just kept trying, and I kept saying no because I wasn't attracted to him. I didn't, and he, I think he was like 6'3", 6'5". He was really tall, but he thought that was enough for me to just be like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not. It's like I want brain matter. I need brains. And he didn't know how to have a full conversation. It's like he only wanted to talk or brag about his height or how most women want him, because he kept thinking that if if he can get me jealous enough, I would be like, okay, yeah, let's go. No. And that irritated him. And or when I would talk about my like the stories I was working on, oh, that would irritate him. He's like, oh, not this again. He was like, you think you're actually gonna publish this? You think you're gonna actually do something with this? And it's like, who's gonna read it? Wow. Wow. And a lot of you have probably never heard of me, and well, it takes money to market. I don't have that much, so like I'm newly diagnosed with my disability and still trying to get my life together, but it's like at least I'm published. A lot of these men, like, and it's really crazy because I wanted nothing to do with a lot of these men, because once I started talking about my business and my goals, they wanted nothing to do with me. And even with my degrees, after I finished my bachelor's, I just got accepted for my master's, and I was so excited. But I remember I was already going through a lot of house trauma because, like, I remember my mom just got home. I finished the laundry, and I just got everything ready for dinner, so it was in the oven. And I was just like, yes, okay, everything, the house is clean, whatever. And so she came in, and I told her I got accepted into grad school. Yeah. Then she tells me, why in the hell did you do that for? Because my parents don't think much of me. That's why I say I'm a gray sheep. If you don't know about the gray sheep, I talk about that a few times in other episodes. I'm creating a gray sheep society. So if you want to be part of the squad, it's like I'm gonna have. That's another thing I'm working on too, or whatever. But yeah, I was the gray sheep. I'm a disappointment. I'm never good enough, especially when my mom always told me, as long as you walk like that, no one's ever gonna want you, love you, or marry you. And so even back with that guy who I met at my friend's birthday party, he kept trying. He wouldn't stop. And it irritated me, but my mother told me that phrase so many times. Part of me was just like, oh, and also with the church, it's like, oh, the man chooses you if a man keeps trying, and maybe it's just like blah, all this other stuff about the man chooses you, you don't choose the man. And so part of me was just like, dang it, okay, maybe he's choosing me, but no, he wasn't choosing me. He just, his ego, whatever. So, but I ended up getting his number because of what my mom said, because my legs were starting. That's when, I mean, I already had pain in my legs, but no one believed me, and the doctors ignored. Like, well, the doctors were the ones that thought I was lying and told my parents I was lying. So then I got spanked and traumatized and everything. Like, when I say trauma, it's the ABUSE word, but parts of YouTube don't, like, yeah, they don't want you to say that word. So anyway, the doctor told my parents I was lying and I was making it up. I just wanted attention or whatever. So anyway, that interfered with my low self-esteem, and that's one reason why now I know what I've worked for. And I still have low self esteem, but at the same time, I know the value that I've created. I know how determined I am. I'm stubborn. I'm bullheaded. And so that's one reason I'm probably not going to get married, and I'm okay with that because I know who I am. I know that I'm a strong, diligent woman. I know that I have creativity, and I know I have diligence. And a lot of these men, they want a obey me, do as I say, cook me dinner, do my laundry, and basically be my mother that sleeps with me type of man. And I'm not going to be that type of woman. No. I've watched my mom in some way, because it's like the way that she cleaned the house, the way she had to cook home cooked meals almost every single day, and just watching like the laundry, the iron, like, and that's why she made sure to wife train my sister and I, or I mean my older sister too, but it's like she's a lot older, but we were literally wife trained. And I know with some of my exes, when I ended up cooking for them, you cooked this, you made this, you can, like, yeah, why? It's like they were acting like it's a big deal, but now I'm kind of like, oh, my mother basically, yeah. So, but it's just annoying and frustrating because three-fourths of the men that I've met or I talked to, I should have known, like, especially growing up in the church, the type of men that my church wants me to have, I don't want. I don't want. Because the type of men in the church voted for Trump. A lot of men in the church don't respect black women. A lot of men in the church don't even like women. They just want to use us. Ladies, now a lot of these Republican boys and men are going around saying, your body, my choice. And a lot of these Republican podcasters and things like that are bragging and talking about how now they're going to get their way. And how a lot of these like male alpha influencers are going around just dehumanizing us or telling us that, oh, they're not supposed to be leaders, they're supposed to be at home, they're supposed to be cooking dinner. And like that one kicker with the football team, it's like he in his speech represented how a lot of these Trump supporting men are, or Trump voting men, because some of these men are normally Democrats. But when they get to hear that they are going to be able to have more power over women, they switched their ballot so quick. They switched over so quick because they have such a hard time getting a woman now because they didn't work hard enough to be a good enough man. And the thing is, they don't want to be a good enough man. They just want women to settle for them because we have to. That's what they're determined. They don't want us to be happy. They just want us to settle. And they just want to be able to use us, cheat on us, and do anything they want with us with the bat of an eye. They don't care. And with my standards, and like even with being vaccinated, like, do you know how many, like, watch some of the episodes? I'm going to reuse them and everything again, but do you know how many men have told me that I'm stupid or dumb, or that I'm going to catch some disease or whatever because I'm vaccinated? Or that I'm a moron, or I'm the R word, or a lot of men have said it's like, and I don't like, I blur some of the swear words or whatever because I'm like, yeah, okay, kids shouldn't be reading, but when it comes to the R word and like, oh, and I blur out the N word, I don't want to, because I want you guys to see that these people, that these racists know good. And it's like, okay, I know some people are going to be Republican and they're like, I'm not like this, I'm not like that. If you voted for Trump, yes, you are. You are in some sense. If you voted for Trump, you are connected to this. You are aligned with this. You are okay with this. And so if people try to tell me that they voted for Trump but they're not, no, you're lying. You're lying to yourself and you're lying to the public. So, and I don't have time to care. I don't have time to pity. I don't have time to have compassion for you because, like, I keep seeing these, because, oh, and it's crazy how I'm not that popular right now. And you know what? Whatever, okay? But a lot of the things I've been talking about, now people, like after the election, now people are bringing up what I've been bringing up for over a year now, because especially the educational system and how the average reading level is below fifth grade level. 54% of America reads at a fifth grade or below level. I've been saying this, I've been screaming it from the rooftops from the beginning. And I even showed you guys screenshots of men who they think they read my profile, but they can't read my profile because their reading comprehension is so low. It's pathetic and disgusting. And but then they want to ban books. They can't comprehend, but they want to ban books. They're very ignorant, but they want to ban books. And I even want to go towards the Christian route. They want to be Christians, but how much of the Bible do they actually comprehend to actually know what they're following, what they're believing, or if their pastor is actually preaching the truth or making up stuff just because they know they're going to go along with it because they know their comprehension isn't that high. So that's just something I've been thinking and debating about too. But anyway, when it comes to vaccination, I'm not saying everybody has to be vaccinated, but if you want to date me, yes, you have to be vaccinated. I don't, and a lot of the men call me a bigot because I will not date you if you're vaccinated or if you're not vaccinated. Sorry, it's like I'm kind of looking at my standards while I'm saying, but yeah, if you're not vaccinated, I don't. We can be friends, and it's called only going out in public, in groups, in groups. Not solo, not one on one. Nope, nope, not the two of us, not one on one, groups, because I don't want them getting it twisted. I don't want them having anything in their imagination thinking that I'm interested in them. No, if you're not vaccinated, if you don't have that higher education, and a lot of people think I'm going to be stuck up with that higher education. That'll be a full episode of its own. Because do you know how many men? I know I said some things about it, but you don't know how many men have told me when women get an education, it's just a fancy piece of paper. Yeah, Bill, I remember, yeah, I still remember the night you had the nerve to tell me that. Yeah. Steven, when you told me that if I write a book, I'm going to have to put it under a man's name if I ever want to be considered or respected in the writing industry. Or, mm, I'm trying to remember the name. I'll go back in my emails and history, but when I shared part of my novel with the guy, he told me that I better change my main character to a white woman because if I don't, no one's gonna care, and my books are just gonna collect dust. And like with my degrees, like when I say that I have an MBA, and they're just like, why is a woman going to get an MBA? It was like, you have no business in the business. That's man's business. But it's just crazy in a wild way how so many Republican women voted for this person, and now men are celebrating because they feel like they're going to be able to use us and treat us like, well, they've been treating me horribly all my life. Because as a woman, as a black woman, and now officially diagnosed, because with how I walk, a lot of men were just like, well, if you don't want to date me, no one else is going to want you. Look, you walk like you all used up. Look at how you walk. Maybe if you walked better, it's like you would have a better choice. So you better date me and then, so, and that's one reason why when I ended up dating Mr. No Heart, mm, I settled for him. I settled for him because I was scared because my walking was getting worse. And I found a guy that at least settled for my walking disability. And I mean, he didn't love, like, at the end, he was like, you can't tell me I didn't love you. Yes, I can. But the only thing he loved about me was my chest size. That's the only thing he loved about me. Because if you love somebody, you would go to their mother's funeral. If you love somebody, you would go to their major surgery, especially if it's connected to an undiagnosed disability. And you know for years they've been trying to go get tested for different things so they can get diagnosed. But oh, and I still haven't done part 3, so I'm going to tell the ending story of how I officially broke up with this jerk. But then with a lot of these guys and my disability, for some guys, they say, oh, you sound so amazing, but I can't be seen with a cripple. And see, that's one that after a date in November of 2022, that's when I made this list of standards. Because there was this one guy, like, I told him I had a disability. I told him it was a walking disability. And he was like, no, but you're perfect. You're amazing. You're this, you're that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We went out to eat, and at the table, he told me in front of people, the waitress was at the table next door. And I'll tell the whole story a different day, but like this really showed me how ignorant, ableist, sexist, racist, and just, you're a beautiful woman. And it's like, as a black woman, I was like, I don't find black women like you. You're not like many others, which kind of showed the races like, okay, now be quiet. I was like, so that was already a red flag. But then when he got to the part where, but I just can't be seen with a cripple like you, that would be like embarrassing, and that would mess up my image. And while he was saying this, people at the tables next door were looking over. I was so embarrassed. And the waitress was writing an order, but especially when the customer stopped talking, she looked over at me like, "Girl, you want me to knock the out of him? You want me to? I got you. I got you." And I'll tell the rest of that story a different day, but it's like some black men tell me I'm not black enough. I don't know how to be black. And why did I get all this education if I was determined? Because they were like, black love with black love. Women aren't supposed to outdo the man. Black love, a woman is supposed to know her place. Black men would tell me like how I'm supposed to act, or, oh, I don't dress black enough, or I don't like or talk black enough, or there, etc., etc. There's so many things, because it's like I keep referencing there's this one, or and he's probably so happy that I talk about him, but I talk about him in horrible ways each time, because he, in my opinion, he is one of the absolute worst people you can be around, and he is such a Trump supporting imbecile. But he bumped into somebody that used to try to talk to me, and the guy told him that I was crazy, but this guy doesn't realize, yeah, he said I was crazy because I was talking about my children's books and my businesses and how I want to travel the world. And it's funny, Republican men think that's crazy. Especially black Republican men think that's crazy. And uneducated, ignorant Republican men think that's crazy. When a woman says that she wants to start a business, when a woman says that she has her degrees and higher education, men want to pull me down. Men have blocked me when it had nothing to do with me once they start getting to know me, because, and some of them tell me it's because of my education. Some of them tell me it's because of my business adventures and my goals and things. Some of them tell me that they just can't stand a woman that has drive. They want a woman that would drive to the store and get their groceries, but they don't want a woman that has the drive to start a business. They want them to drive to the laundromat, drive to drop off their kids, and sometimes it's not even that woman's kids. They want, like, if they had, oh, another thing, when men have kids by other women, that's okay. But do you know how many men said they will not date a woman with kids because they don't want anything to do with another guy's child? But they expect another woman to do that for them. But then when I was like, I talk about the contradiction. I talk about the contradiction. And then men get mad at me. And that's when they start calling me the B word, C word, elemental P word. They call me everything in the book. And then they say I'm stupid and I'm crazy. Oh, yeah, that's another reason. Because, oh, and I know this because the guy that wrote that, really, like, this guy wrote me 5 times, over 5 times, each time trolling me. Oh, you're a Biden supporter. You're a effing R word. You're this, you're that. You're such a B. Oh, what, like, this rapper says Trump's amazing. This rapper, and all of his sources were rappers. And I'm just like, okay, your education level is so low and just, it's disgusting. So it's like him telling me all of his rappers and all of his, like, he just proved to me how ignorant and terrible of a human being he is. So he kind of made me feel better, but he harassed me so much and kept talking to the guy that called me crazy so much. That guy called me. And when I told him and I showed him the screenshots, he was like, he said all of this about you. He was like, yeah. It's like, okay, I said you're crazy, but he's like, I can't stand how amazing and how much you have achieved and how much you want to do more. But that's the end of this episode. Thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too. Stay tuned.